Okay, sorry, my camera died, so I had to switch over to my phone. But I really want to finish this video so that I can give everybody like a good idea of my watering regimen and how I do it. So, I don't remember what I was saying. I remember I was, I don't know, talking about something with bricks or something, keeping the humidity up. But I'm gonna start setting these back on the table because it's really bothering me that they are like there. Something else that I feel like a lot of people mistake, that's like, I don't want to say a fallacy on the internet, but the whole, you're overwatering if your plants are yellow, and you're like, holy shit, I haven't watered them in forever. It's like, well then, like, a lot of the times my plants turn yellow, kind of like that skin dapsis, whenever they're dry. Like whenever they haven't gotten enough. Usually whenever a plant's been overwatered, it gets that like crispiness because it's dead. It's just dead. So I wouldn't like take the whole, it's yellow, so you're overwatering thing. Usually whenever things are overwatered, they turn black. They get mushy. They stink. And it stink when they die. It's another thing. It's another clear indicator that you're overwatering. You can smell it, you're overwatering. Like, whenever I walk into my greenhouse, I don't really smell anything. Whenever I walk into other people's greenhouses, I can smell it. And also I water like this. I water with a can. I go around and it takes a while, but if you want to have a greenhouse that's like this, not like this, like overcrowded, there's a lot of things that I hang outside and I put right outside of my greenhouse and I make it look all pretty in the summer. But if you want to be able to keep up with like a mass amount of plants, or if you want to start selling your own plants to be able to keep up with them, to be able to keep up with your propagations in between, like selling them, like while you're growing them or what have you. If you want to propagate your plants as gifts for Christmas, that's what I did for Christmas. I propagated some of my plants that I knew that like people at work really liked, that my friends really liked, that my family really liked. I propagated them out, and then over the summer I gave them away, and it was like boom. Didn't even have to pay for anything. Well, I had to pay for like, you know, the little nursery cups and some soil, but obviously I already had all that. But if you wanted to do something where you're like propagating them out, then I'm just letting you know that if you can smell it, it ain't good. Stop watering. Push it. Be a pusher like me. Get to the point where you're like, yeah, I probably need some water, and then you water it. Okay, moving on. Sorry. Ramble over. Let's see. Oh! Also, you might want to, I don't know how to say it, but know the difference between when something needs to be watered and whenever it needs to be repotted. I have a propagation of my silver sword right over here. And he's very light. He's very dry. He is sad. He's drooping. He doesn't feel good about himself. He's retracting. He's curling in. I want to give him some water, but I can see some of the roots coming out, and he's rooting out this way because he's looking for more dirt. He's like, he's searching. which means that I need to repot him, but I don't want to repot him whenever it's cold outside because I brought this bad boy up from when he was like this big. He was just like the like a little pinky nail size of my finger, and he is now this. So I don't really want to repot him while it's cold outside and risk like mold exposure or risk the roots getting shocked like during a repotting process. So I'm just gonna water him for now, and then hopefully in like, you know, about a month, maybe a few more weeks, I can repot him and it'll look like the one it's right next to over here. I'm gonna let the water like come out a little bit. Oh, it's really dense too. Whenever, like if you water something and you know that it's dry and the water's not going through it very easily, that means that like the dirt has like hardened, like it's turned into a little soil brick, and it's not good all the time. That means it's suffocating. That means there's not a lot of oxygen getting to the roots, and that can be bad. That can be bad sometimes. But you know what? I'm just gonna water. There we go. It's coming out more. It's coming out more. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Give your plant some words of affirmation. You'll be fine. You'll look good. You'll be alright. Alright. Now, it's I'm a horrible person. I need to put it up. It's just, hi, this is my silver sword. It's stressing itself out, you know, trying to like do sit-ups and curl back up. I need to put it, I put like a fucking chopstick or whatever in there to, I don't even know what I was thinking whenever I put that in here. But it needs some water. I can look, it's not very heavy. It the dirt, I can feel it, it's dry. And it's not curling in or anything like the little baby over there, but I know that it needs a little bit of water. Doesn't usually like drape that hard, if you know what I mean. It tries to stay as erect as possible. So I know whenever it's like falling over like that, like this, it needs a little bit more. It's thirsty. Alright. Now, things like this, your succulent cactus, what are these called? What are these called? Shit. What are they called? Bless it. They're not cactuses, but they're not succulents. Damn it. I can't remember what they're called. Epiphyllum? Epiphyllum? I don't know. But they shrivel up. They shrivel up and like they won't die. These are hard to kill, really. Trust me. Put them through literal hell. And they don't die. They're hard. They're hard to kill. So if you like this kind of stuff, I recommend. Here, like, this is called a shark tooth cactus, but it's not really a cactus. It's the, I want to say epiphyllum, but I don't want to sound like a jackass and that be wrong. Or I could be right. Whatever, y'all know what I'm talking about. You can look it up. Shark tooth cactus. It's very light. The dirt is separating from the edges, but it's still like, it's still fairly perky. But these have a tendency to be jerks and like only grow out of one side. No matter if I rotate them, no matter what I do, they only grow out of one side. So they're always like heavy and they always fall over. So I have to put them on the ground and stuff. And like, here, I'll show you the big one I got over here. The one that I propagate from. And there's one that got so big, because I bought two one time. And it got so big I had to put it outside. And it's froze here up in Northwest Florida. It's we've gone through, I think, at least one freeze. And it's still outside and it's still doing fine. It hasn't even turned yellow or nothing. This is the other massive one. These things are they're cool. They're pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like them a lot. But they only grow out of one side. Why? Why? Why do you do this to me? So I have to like keep it in these like wedge them into places so that don't topple over. Even I used to have one hanging up and it would like mangle itself, like toppling over inside of like the little netting that I had, like one of those, you know, macrame things that everybody uses now. But yeah, this one's pretty dry. Pretty dry. And these, if you overwater them, because I bought them and I got them on discount because they were overwatered as shit, and they stink when they're overwatered. So if you can smell it, stop watering. Let it go. Let it dry out. Leave it alone. Alrighty. Now, this is just a little propagation of it, but this is the Pepperoni Hope and a little bit of a Hoya Courtesy somehow got in there. Pepperoni Hope. I keep it in this little clay pot because Pepperoni Hope terrarium plant my whole ass. It doesn't like to be watered. It really doesn't. It likes humidity, but she don't like to be watered. She don't like to be touched. So, and look, she's so perky and like supple. Perky and supple, and like I can't bend her leaves at all. So I'm not gonna water her. Even though the dirt looks dry, she's doing good. She's nice and thick. Her stalk is thick. I'm gonna leave her alone because I'll tell you what, this is like the 4th Hope I've ever had, and I've killed all of them except for this one because I was like, you know what? Do whatever you want. And here she is, still alive and going. I know it's just one little thingy, but that's that was like one of the propagations that I had off of the other ones that died, like right before it died. I was like, oh, and cut it off and so that I could still have them. But now I have a much larger one. Since this one survived from me not watering it so much, there was a flower shop over by my house that I stopped into. I think it was my daughter's birthday, and I went to get her flowers, and she really likes cactuses, and they had these massive hopes, And I was like, oh my god, so I got one because I was confident, and I think I've watered it like twice. And it got rained on, and whenever it got rained on, half of it like fell off, and I'm like, you son. But so yeah, I just leave these bad girls alone, let them do their thing. These again, terrarium type of plant, Pepperoni angulata, beetle Pepperoni. The Pepperoni angulata, it's not quite like the beetle Pepperoni. Watermelon Pepperoni, whatever you want to go with. There's so many nicknames and official names for things, but it can dry out, or it can sorry, it's getting windy, and so the place is gonna creak a little bit because of the panels, but it can dry out. It can go for a little bit of water too. It's not gonna hurt it. This one's even bigger. It can dry out, but if you notice that whenever it does dry out a little bit, the leaves are not as big. Like over here, they're like big, but the new growth, like as it's been kind of dry, isn't so big. So it's like it can survive, but it's just gonna be like little and dainty and like as it's growing out whenever it doesn't have as much water. I'm gonna give it a little bit of water, maybe let her beef up a little bit, you know, let her take care of herself. This Variegated Dishidia. I just watered it a little while ago because it started getting a little crispy. But this can go a while without being watered. Do not overwater her. Do not overwater her. The moment that you start seeing this turn yellow, you're overwatering. She'll get mushy. She gets mushy like string of pearls, string of tears, those kind of stuff. She just sort of like just turns to a pile of mush. So I just watered her not too long ago, so I'm gonna leave her alone. Now, there are some things that you can't see. Yeah, you can a little bit. Like this. Things that are hanging up, things that are like dense, that have a lot of plant in them. I get scared of overwatering because it's like, it's a lot of plant. It's a lot of plant to like kill. So what I do is, and especially with plants that are hanging, like there's a difference between like draping and like elegantly, like, you know, and like hanging. And if I see it like hanging and not just sort of like buoyantly draping, I go over and which ones can you see the most? These? Can you see this? Yeah, you can. I touch their leaves. If they have that sort of catchy feeling, like how like really wet skin catches, or like the feeling of like rubber, like how it catches, yeah, rubber, that rubbery feeling, that catching, or if it's like really, like I can manipulate it really easily. It needs water. It needs water. It's dehydrated. And like these lipstick plants are really sensitive to being overwatered. So I wait until they show me that they need water. I wait until they're like practically like just hanging, and then I water them. Damn it, there's a fly in here. It's gonna be so distracting. Damn Okay, and like, and I also just walk over and give it the old, pick it up a little bit. If it's super light, like I said, give it some water. I have a really massive, teddy bear vine. The scientific name for it is huge and weird. Please don't make me try to say it. Teddy bear vine. Different from baby bunny bellies, just so you know. Very different. These are like hairy. They're still super cool, but they feel like a tarantula, like hairy. Baby bunny bellies feel like literal velvet. But this is super light. Super duper light. So it needs water, and you can see how it's like hanging. So look at the back of it because it's smushed up against the panels, but whatever, the front of it's growing gorgeously. So I'm gonna give it some water. And the cool thing about the plants that are hanging on the edges, if you ever do this, is you water them, and then whenever it falls out under their butts, they water the plants right below it. Hoya courtesy is one of the Hoyas that can't water too much. That bitch will shrivel up, she will yellow, she will mush, and die. And then this Cotinanthia, however you want to say it, she can dry. God damn it, there's a lizard! Be careful of lizards, also. God, scared the shit out of me. I just saw this creature on my arm, and it was one of the giant Cubanas. The Cubanas, if you can, don't kill them, but they misplace the green lizards because they eat them. The green lizards are what eat your bugs. The Cubanas, they eat other lizards and other like things. Cotinanthia. If you water it, she will pump out some really pretty flowers for you. So I like to give these a little douse, and I keep the bottoms on these ones because I like to keep them pretty watered so that they'll give me some flowers. Like, I mean, even right now it's, you know, it's 40 degrees outside and she's flowering, so I like that a lot. Oh, there's another Cubana up here. Ah! Alright. Anywho. Okay, so, I mean, I don't know how y'all want me to, I feel like throughout videos, I'm gonna be like explaining individual plants, so I won't make y'all suffer. If you've watched for this long, thanks. But I mean, I could go through every plant right now and show you how to water it, but I feel like I'll make certain videos for specific plants and we can go over like how we do that. If there is a specific plant or anything that you want to know like about, leave it in the comments. You can message me. I have an Instagram and a TikTok and all the goodies, but I will be going through and talking about specific plants in other videos, so hopefully other questions will be answered. But yeah, that's about it for like watering. The things that I have to say about that is look at it, take your social cues from your plants and listen to them. If they're hanging, they might need some water. If they're dry, if they look dry, like look at the soil, if it looks dry, then it needs some water. Pick it up. Pick up your damn plants. If it's super light, like, and you don't even have to pick them up all the way, even the ones that are hanging, just like put some pressure on it to like put like the majority of the pressure in your hand to see if it's like super light or not. And if it's yellowing, you might want to look at, and if it's curling in and yellowing, then look at the soil and pick it up. If it stinks, you're overwatering. If the edges of the leaves are like frying and it's curling up, then it's probably either getting too much sunlight or you're overwatering. Because it's just dying. It's dying on the edges. It doesn't mean, like, if you see something that looks like it's, you know, curling up around the edges or whatever, or like frying around the edges, then don't like think that it automatically just needs water. You know, try out, like get a spray bottle, and if you think that you're like, I don't know if it needs water or if it needs to not be watered, get a spray bottle. Just get a little spray bottle and spray it just a little bit. Just spray it, just not a lot. And if it perks up, if it gives you any sort of like positive reaction to spraying it just a little, then go ahead and water it. If it droops anymore or hangs anymore after you've spritzed it, don't water it. But at that point, you haven't like done anything that could like damage it any further, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's just a little bit, just to see which way that it needs to go. So that is it. I feel like these are going well. So I'm gonna keep making the videos. If y'all have any sort of like questions or any specific plant that you would like for me to go over, leave it in the comments. Ask me whatever you want to, and we'll do this. We'll do it. Alrighty. Thank you guys.